Hello and welcome back to another LEGO Star Wars review. This time I'm here with 75298 AT-AT versus Tauntaun Microfighters. This set was released on March the 1st, 2021, has 205 pieces, is rated ages 6+ and comes with 2 minifigs. As you'll see there in the bottom right corner we have Luke Skywalker and the AT-AT driver. This set retails at €19.99 in euros, $17.99 in pounds and $19.99 in dollars, which is a strange comparison, but whatever. So here we have the AT-AT versus Tauntaun Microfighter, allegedly to go against the recent Millennium Falcon Microfighter, but I don't think so. It says so, I think, on the box and on some of the old advertisements for it and stuff, and maybe even on the website, that it's great, perfect to match up with these two, but I don't think that really works out that well. Here we see our third LEGO Tauntaun straying away from the single molded piece. This is the second brick-built Tauntaun. Notably, the first brick-built Tauntaun was from set LLCA53, worth looking into. On the opposing side, we see the second AT-AT Microfighter, which makes you wonder, with the repeated Millennium Falcon and AT-AT, do LEGO even know about all the other great Star Wars ships they could be making? This set comes with a very nice looking exclusive Hoth Luke and an AT-AT driver that was previously only in an AT-AT set which cost €150, so it's nice to see that it's now available at a much smaller price. Having a wee look now at the back of the boxes before we move on to the overview. You can see one action box there that just says they have stud shooters. There's one stud shooter, it's not even on the microfighters or anything like that, so that's interesting there, but again, there's not really an awful lot I can say about that. It comes, of course, with his binoculars that you can see there, and Luke's lightsaber, and we see the set at a different angle. Underneath then, as I said, it says collect them both there, so apparently they're supposed to go against each other or go with each other, but it doesn't make sense. The Millennium Falcon should have something else to go with. That's just the way it's been. Also then you'll see a neat kind of build together box on the side that comes with 2 instructions, one for each little set, so that's cool if you do have someone to build with. You can each build one, dibs the Tauntaun if ever that comes to anything. But yeah, let's get on to the review. So here we see all the set comes with. It comes with, of course, its 2 microfighters and its 2 minifigures. Those minifigures come with a good amount of attachments this time. They come with a stud blaster each. They come with a set of binoculars each, Luke with his white ones and the AT-AT driver with his grey ones, and Luke, of course, comes with his lightsaber. Needless to say, that has to be done. But yeah, that's pretty much all we get with the set. So let's get on to the minifigs. So first up here we see the brand new Luke Skywalker minifigure. Now every part of him is new, and I think that is just great. I think it's a great kind of addition to all the hot stuff they have been bringing out recently. Not Hoth. I just think it's really nice. I think it is. I think because we have the giant AT-AT out, we have the 4+ Snowspeeder out, so we have a few bits and bobs from that. We, however, don't really have Han in this outfit. He comes, of course, with his 3 attachments that I have explained earlier, the gun, the binoculars and lightsaber, and to be honest, he holds all of them as any minifigure would hold anything else. He holds them rather well. There's no not too much tension or weight on any of these things. Maybe with the stud blaster there could be a little bit of weight on the front there. No, he seems fine. He seems grand there holding the blaster. Okay, maybe a small bit of unneeded weight there, but the stud blaster works pretty normally. You push down on this part here, it fires the stud, and then the stud goes mental, and then of course he holds his lightsaber as well. Nothing really too new or interesting there or unusual there. Everything works fine. He can also, of course, do that with the lightsaber while it's in his hand, and it causes no stress to the minifigure. Now onto the print. I think the print on it is quite nice. It's still quite a basic print, because there's not an awful lot you can do, but they have included as much as they can with the kind of little thing up here and the little badge kind of then on the torso, on the chest, sorry, and then also he has the belt printed on there, and you can see under all of that then there's a kind of like a crisscross to make his jacket look a bit more realistic. And up then you will see the collar as well has a small bit of white, so that runs onto the kind of undergarment, under kind of uniform that he's wearing to keep him a little bit extra warm. And then onto his pants, you'll see a tiny bit of printing there on the belt, just 2 lines in the middle of the belt there. Going down then you will see a small bit of just kind of fabric printed, just to give the impression of clothes rather than straight up plastic. You will see a small bit of printing there on his left leg, and that will just kind of, it's a little strap on his leg, which is nice there to have. You will also see a crisscross then just above his kind of knees, or around his knees area, which, you know, represents the pants quite well, I think. On the back then you will see the crisscross pattern again to make it look like the jacket, and you will see the belt continued here on the back as well. Move up then you will see a little bit of the collar kind of done there as well. No printing on the sides as per usual, but one thing I will notice from the back is that his kind of second head print is actually coming out under his helmet, which is very common in minifigures. So we'll just skip by that, but it is something worth just pointing out. The helmet on the back, while I'm here, is actually quite nice. They've done as much of the as much as they can with it. They've kind of done, you know, a decent amount. Like, they still do have the kind of top there flattened, and they do have a little bit there in front to keep the goggles on, so that's why it's at a strange angle. And the sides then you will see is, if I take off these, is actually like kind of molded in a way to hold the glasses both ways, so it's a little less accurate with no glasses on it altogether. You will see the peak coming out there on the top as well, just above his eyes there, to make it look like a cap. Although it is nice detail. I will say that you can also put the glasses there if you want, the goggles there, or you can put them up on the top as they were there. You see the little kind of indents, the little round indents either side there that the glasses or goggles like slot into to keep them secure. Underneath then you will see that the head is quite nice. He has that kind of white undergarment there to keep him nice and warm, and then on the back you will see a little bit more of a stern face. Not quite sure what kind of scene they would have taken this from, but I just guess that this one is for the sake of having a second print and for the sake of giving a little bit more to the playability aspect, because he wouldn't exactly be smiling at an AT-AT. So I think this minifigure is absolutely fantastic. I probably talked a little bit too much about it, but it just is really nice to see. On now to the AT-AT driver. We have seen this figure before last year, late 2020, August 2020, in the AT-AT that was released in the August wave, and it is no difference to that. He has nice detail on the helmet there. The helmet is quite defined, and it's molded quite well, quite accurately. But there is quite a lot of molding there on it. The printing is really nice on it, quite accurate on it as well. It's not a misprint or anything like that, so I'm lucky for the sake of this review that I didn't get that. And you will see it's molded the whole way around, but it does come up at the back for some reason, and it just cuts off completely, and you will see a little bit of the flesh color come out from underneath there. The torso there you will see is printed with all kinds of different wires and such, and little kind of control panel box thing on his front there, on his chest. Going down there you will see the strap that goes right between his legs and just up and around, and it kind of keeps going down there as well. You will see there that it keeps going around the full way. Not sure what that is for, but it is quite accurate still to the design of the character. Underneath you will see a little bit of like printing here as well, just to kind of give the impression of his underclothes there as well. Leg printing and belt printing is very nice to see there. You will see then on the back he is more printing as well. He is another little kind of control panel box, and the grey kind of armor is still going around the full way as well. On the sides then you won't see any blue, so it's not printed around the full way. As per usual, it is only like printed on the front and back. Still a very nice figure there to see, and underneath you will see a kind of standard enough face, just a random kind of not happy face. And taking off the helmet you will be able to see a little bit more of the chest as well. Not a lot, but a small bit more. Definitely a really nice minifigure to have in the collection, and to be honest, it's a nice way to get him in a cheaper set, so I'm glad that he has come out in a cheaper set. On now to the Tauntaun. He is brick built. He's not the first brick built Tauntaun we've ever seen, but he is the first brick built Tauntaun we've seen that will fit a minifigure on it. The last one we've seen, I mentioned it in my unboxing video, or maybe at the start of this review, I'm not sure, somewhere I've mentioned it. So it's kind of worth a look at. It was just a very rare kind of piece. But anyway, onto this one, you will see that the tail does move, and apart from the hands, that is the only function as well. Nothing else really moves on the Tauntaun. The legs don't move or anything like that, or the head or eyes or mouth or anything like that. You will see that there are two clips on the side, one pointing vertical and one pointing horizontal. The horizontal one will be for the lightsaber, and the vertical one will be for the binoculars. Of course, you can do whatever you want with them as well. You can put the gun on one, or you can put the lightsaber facing up on one, but that is as per instructions the way it should be. I think it looks really nice. Luke can sit on 2 studs there rather than 4 or 3 or anything, and it's nice there because he doesn't, like, his legs don't fall off or anything. I think he looks a bit funny from the front, but very kind of pixelated maybe. I don't think he's a bad figure though, at the same time. I really don't. We've seen the brick built Bantha as well recently, and it's quite similar in the fact that they just use the kind of same method for the tail there. I think it's really nice, to be honest. I don't really have many faults for it. I mean, it does look a little like blocky, but for a brick built thing you can't really take that away from it because it is brick built. I mean, that's kind of the point of it. It is what it is. I mean, you can personally think it's bad, and that would be acceptable because you could just not like brick built stuff. I really don't have a lot of bad things to say about this. I thought I'd have more bad things to say about it, but I'm just kind of finding it hard. It's not really all that bad, especially once you do realize it is brick built and it's not molded. It's kind of what you expect, and they have given you some nice functions there with the detail as well, with the little backpack on the back there as well, or wrap I think it's called actually once it's in that position. They will also see a white belly underneath. And there's only like 2 toes on each side, and you know the legs here are done actually quite well, because it does kind of give the impression of the kind of way that their hind legs do kind of look, because they are a bit more rounded here and a bit more flat then, like kind of cornered towards the back there. I won't really say there's anything bad about it. You would put 2 studs here, and you will put the like the reins in them studs, and he doesn't really hold on to the reins that well now, I will say that, because if you don't want it like stretching or like deforming in any way, I don't think it really will, but just there's a slight possibility of it, because as you'll see there, he is just in front of the reins, you know. So I'll try. It is actually quite hard because of the material of the reins to get him to hold on full stop, because it's not like, you know, it's not solid particularly, but he will hold on there, and it'll kind of pull it up a little bit, unless you kind of angle the reins there yourself once you're building it. But you know, it is what it is. I definitely do think it's a really nice addition to the set, and I think it's a good brick built Tauntaun. Next up we have the AT-AT. And to be honest, I really like this one as well. I didn't think I would. I didn't think there'd be as much motion in the head, but there's quite a lot of movement there. As you'll see, you can kind of move it any way you want. You can flip it straight around. Of course, we know that with the ball joints there, that's what you can do. But at the same time, it is still nice. I like how you can kind of move it in slightly accurate ways. You know, it does actually kind of work well. You can pose the legs like either straight up like that, or push it down and have them look like they're walking a little bit. I don't think this is bad either, especially for what it is. Like, if you want like a really detailed AT-AT, then this is bad. This is not for you. This is it's not that detailed at all, but it does kind of work. Plus, it gives you more than you expect. Like, I did not expect a control panel in there once we didn't get it in the Imperial shuttle that's come out this year. Also, just notice there, he can stand on his two legs. You can get him in funny positions, like you can pretend he's a little dog, and you can get like good fun out of one of these things, I will say. And there's good, very, very good photo opportunities, I'd say, with one of these things. Like, you can put him on his back and, you know, pretend he's a dog. I mean, like, genuinely some good photo opportunities and some good fun just because of the way he looks. But anyway, on to the actual build part of it and the actual, like, kind of value for money and, like, is it worth it, all that kind of stuff. It is. It's a fun little build. It's not taxing at all. It doesn't take that long. It doesn't take that much skill, of course. But it's just nice to see that they've added in like a printed tile here instead of a sticker. Again, the printed tile there. The driver will just kind of slot in here on this one. This slots in between his legs and he can just sit in like that. And like a horse, you can go nay, you know. I mean, it's actually quite it's nice. I actually really do like this. The more I look at it as well, the more I like it, because I thought that the Tauntaun would be my favorite part, and I think it might still be, but this is definitely coming up like hot on its tail. I will say again, the build is easy, it's fun, and it's quite a sturdy little build as well. It doesn't really seem like it's that, like, I'm not really being that gentle with it here, and it's not falling apart. Also, again, this is some of the positions you can get it into is just hilarious. But yeah, like, bad things about the set, I don't really think I can name any. If I want to be nitpicky, right, there's not much detail in these, right? That's one thing. That's one bad thing. But I can't really find like more bad things. But one good thing is the posability, the playability, the look of it. It actually does look great. Like, it doesn't have the greatest detail, but it still does look really nice, like, for what it is. But before I just start like rambling on, I think that's pretty much all I have to say about this little microfighter. It's really nice. So I'm really, really pleasantly surprised with this set. I didn't think I'd love the Tauntaun. I didn't think I'd love the AT-AT. I knew I'd love the minifigures because I've seen the one of the minifigures before, and I know fine well that that Luke figure just looks amazing and does look quite well in person as well. I will say the only bad things I can really point out about it is the lack of detail, but I mean, that's a microfighter, so what do you expect, really? The fact that if you take Luke's goggles off, the helmet looks a little silly, and another thing would be there's no place to put the AT-AT driver's weapons once he takes them out of his hand and sits on the AT-AT, whereas with Luke there is actually a place for his weapons. Although there actually isn't a place for his stud blaster, so that may be a problem as well. But it's the small things I'm trying to find wrong with the set. Like, I mean, one big thing I suppose that could be wrong with the set is the lack of detail in it, but that's only for like real collectors and like real, like, it's not collector's edition, it's a little micro set. It's really good for what it is, and it's actually quite a good improvement as well on the last AT-AT, because I've seen that as well, and I think this is definitely is like a markup as well from that. I had a great experience building it, and to be honest, I usually put these kind of things up in Mum's house, but I think I will end up displaying these ones. Thanks a million for watching my video, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please leave a like down below, subscribe if you haven't already, and comment down below if you think there's anything that needs to be said. Thanks a million, guys. See you again. Take care.